myself Bhumi Patel, Assistant Professor at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Today's our topic is stability in the linear feedback system in the unit number 5. So first of all, overview for this particular lecture is we will study about the Raoult-Hurwitz stability criteria. Then we have to determine whether a system is stable or not. Then we have to try a easy way to make sure that feedback is not destabilizing. And the fourth one is, for that we have to construct the Raoult table. So first of all, we know about which type of system that we have to consider for this stability. Okay, so in the chapter number 1, we will study in the control system. Generally, we have two types of system. The first one is the open loop system and the second one is the closed loop system. So whenever we define the stability, suppose the system is open loop system, and in the open loop system, suppose G of S is my plant and R of S is my input signal and Y of S is my output signal. So if we apply some particular input, if we can get the stable output, so this type of system is known as the stable. Okay, if input is applied and we can get the unstable output, this type of system is known as the unstable control system. Now if we can add the closed loop system, that means we have to add some feedback element for this open loop system. Suppose H of S is my feedback element, and due to this feedback element, the stable system will become unstable or the unstable system will become stable. So all of these fundamental that we have to study in this lecture, and how we can find the stability using the Raoult-Hurwitz stability criteria. So first of all, concept of stability. What is the stability? So here in this diagram you can see that the first one is the stable object, the second one is the neutral, and the third one is the unstable object. So generally the concept of stability can be defined upon place on a plane horizontal surface. So a linear time invariant system is stable if following condition is satisfied. The first condition is a bounded input is given to the system, the response of the system is bounded and the controllable. Okay, if we can apply the bounded input, we can get the bounded output. So in the absence of the input, the output should tend to 0 as the time increase. So this is the condition for the stable system. Generally, in short, if we want to say that if the system will be follow the BIGO system. Now what is the BIGO system? Bounded input, bounded output. So that type of system is known as the stable system. If we know about the stability, so here a graph is given. The first graph is for the bounded input and bounded output for the stable system. So here you can see that in the left hand side diagram, whenever the input is applied, we can get the output. After some time, the output will be steady. Okay, after the saturation region. If you have to remember, we have studied in the 4th chapter time response analysis. After some time, we can get the steady state response. So this type of system graph is known as the stable system. Now what is the other condition for the stability? So here you can see that the location of the roots is given. So the first and the important condition is that if all the roots are located in the left hand plane, that type of system is known as the stable system. Okay, so here location of the roots is all in the left hand plane. Suppose if we have to draw the location of the pole for this particular system equation, suppose S upon S plus 1. Okay, in the numerator that is called the 0 and in the denominator this is called the poles. So poles at the -1 point and 0 at the minus, sorry, 0.0 always located as the circle and poles is located as the cross. Okay, so here you can see that all the poles and 0 are located in the left hand plane. So that type of system response is known as the stable system response. Now the next one is the unstable system. A linear time invariant system comes under the class of unstable system if and only if the system is excited by the bounded input and response is unbounded. So in the simple language, if the system will not follow the VIVO system, that means bounded input, bounded output, that type of system is known as the unstable system. This means once any input is given system, output goes on increasing and designer does not have any control on it. So if we want to draw the unstable graph, so here you can see that whenever input is applied, the output will be goes increasing or the decreasing manner. So we cannot identify the exact value of the output. So that type of system is known as the unstable system. In unstable system, input will be bounded, but we can get output in the unbounded condition. And the second graph, location of the roots for the unstable system. So always if the roots are located only in the right half plane, that type of system becomes unstable system. If the system equation is given 1 upon s minus 2, and if we want to draw the location of the poles for this particular system equation, so s is equal to +2, that means the poles are located in the right half plane, so that type of system will become unstable. Now the another question is that if one pole is located in the right half plane and the one pole is given in the left hand plane, suppose and the -2 position. So what is the actual system response? So if any of the roots are located in the right half plane, that type of system will become unstable system. So this is the condition for the unstable system. In the stable system, the condition is that all the poles and zeros are located in the left hand plane. Okay, now the next one is the critically stable system. When the input is given to a linear time invariant system, for the critically stable system, the output does not go increasingly infinitely, does not go to 0 as the time increase. So the output usually oscillated in the finite range or the remain steady at some value. So that type of system is known as the critically stable system. So such systems are not as stable as their response does not decay to 0. Neither they are defined as unstable because their output does not go on increasing infinitely. So this is the graph of the critically stable system for the bounded input and output response for the critically stable system. So it will be increasing or decreasing, so we cannot identify the exact value of the output. Now what is the location of the poles for this critically stable system? So if the location of the poles and 0 are in the imaginary axis. Okay, whenever we draw the graph, we have two axes, a real and the imaginary axis. Okay, and if the value of the poles and 0 in the imaginary plane, suppose 2 plus or minus 2j. Okay, or suppose it will be 2j plus or minus. Okay, so if the location of the roots or poles is in the imaginary axis, so that type of system response is critically stable system. Now the fourth one is the relative stability. A system may be absolutely stable That means it may have passed the route stability test. As a result, their response decay to 0 under the 0 input condition. So the ratio at which this decay to 0 is important to check the concept of the relative stability when the poles are located far away from the j omega axis. In the left hand plan of the S-plane, the response decay to 0 much faster as compared to the poles close to the j omega axis. The more the poles are located far away from the j omega axis, the more a system is relatively stable. So if we know about the relative stability, so here two systems is given, system A and system B. In system A, the response decays slowly, more cycling time, it will take more time to settle the system. In system B, response decay will be fast, so settles quickly compared to the system A. Okay, if we draw the system C, and if the response in the system C will be faster than the system B, so the settling time of the system C will be more than compared to the system B. So depending upon the output response, we have defined the relative stability. Again, the second point is location of the poles. If the poles are located near the j omega axis or far away from the j omega axis, that type of we can get the system stability. So the relative stability improves as one moves away from the j omega axis. That means here in the system A will be less stable compared to this system B. If the third location of the poles is given in this location and this is my system C, so the relative stability of the system C is more than system B and system C. So the relative stability will define the location of the poles and how the system response will be fast. To settle down the system, we can identify the relative stability of this system. Okay, so whenever we consider the stability, we have to consider the location of the poles and 0, that means location of the roots. Then after, we have to define that it is stable system or the unstable system, or it is critically or the marginally stable system. And if we have to define the relative stability, we have compare more than one system and then check the location of the pole. If it is far away from the j omega axis, we can get the fast response and the system will become more stable than the another system. Now, how the route Hurwitz criteria will be applicable for this particular system equation, that we have to study in the next session. Thank you everyone. If anyone have doubt regarding this topic, you have to contact me in my email ID.